Hi, Martina here. I paused the recording when you went into your breakout room, and I thought I pressed start again, but I must have pressed stop on the recording. So, for those of you that want to recap on the slides and that, and especially for those who weren't able to attend, I decided to re-record the second half of our meeting that was after the breakout. Um, so we started with this, that we're here for a purpose because we are like nature and everything in nature has a purpose. And when it serves its purpose, it falls away and dies back into Mother Earth to come back again the following year. So for those of us that love the garden or that, we learn from nature that some plants die to come back every year and others just show their beauty once, not to return. Like this beautiful picture of the caterpillar that becomes the butterfly, and after all its work to struggle to show its beautiful colors, it lives for one day and then dies. So it just brings home to us, why do we think that we're anything more than nature? Why do we need to be? We are nature. And if we wonder about aging and the eldering beyond our productive years, there's a saying, Reb Zalman says, nature wouldn't have us live beyond our childbearing years unless that there was a reason for it. So when we look at the spirituality of aging, eldering and us into the aging, the third age, that is a spiritual path in its own right, because it's a time of harvest, it's a time of integration, and a time of offering the gifts that we have spent our lifetime learning. Because in many cultures, elderhood is not just about growing old, it's about growing whole. So as we journey through the later seasons in life, the questions that begin to stir in us, they're not just the simple practical questions, as in, where will I live? Or will I sell the house? Or it's not about getting a job or that anymore. The questions that arise in us are actually deeply spiritual because we naturally begin to ponder, like, who am I now? Who am I beyond the role of worker, mother, whatever is the different father, the different roles, sister, some roles we keep on, but so many roles fall away. What have I learned, that is worth passing on to the world? What's the legacy I leave in this world after spending whatever number of years on this planet? What does it mean to live, to die well? What really matters in my life now? How do I make sense of my life? And, what is the legacy? What is the imprint that I've left in this world after I leave? They are questions that naturally arise within us. Maybe we push them away, but that doesn't mean they don't arise. And next week, what we're looking at is forgiveness and the role of forgiveness in the eldering process, because it's hard to grow old without accumulating wounds. Some of them we have caused, and some of them we have carried. And spirituality invites us to tend these places with grace. Forgiveness, especially of the self, opens the heart and frees us to move forward unburdened. So we will talk more about this next week, but you can hear, like, even in the spirituality of aging, the life harvesting, with only 90 minutes of us together and 22 of us on the screen, I am barely touching on the topics. We're putting our toe in the water because, as you can imagine, we could spend 4 weeks and lots longer on any one of these topics. And on our last week, I will be telling you different ways if you want to continue and deepen your journey. But yeah, so with the spirituality and finding meaning, the most important thing is that we find balance and wholeness in our lives. So you would have got this handout in your homework last week, and it is really, when we look at the balance in our lives, it is about mind, body, emotions, and spirit. How do I look after myself in my life as I'm getting older, as I have more time, as the roles in my life change? So, what do I do to take care of my body? Things like walking, massage, eating well, or with emotions, do I allow myself to feel? What friendships do I have? How big is my world, or how small? What's the relationships with my family members, with my friends, with my other in my life? And then how do I mind my mind? Do I read? Do I do meditation? Have I got an interest? Do I want to still learn and grow? And that is all. I mean, here you are, every single one of you here. There is obviously a want to grow and expand into your elder years. So this is an active process. And then we come to spirit. So prayer, meditation, just being in nature, maybe doing the gardening, or what's your faith? So as we grow older, it is really important. Well, people that have a belief in something outside of themselves, something greater than themselves, offers them great solace when loss of capacity and loss of people and our mortality comes more into the focus. So spirituality and finding meaning in life becomes more important in this stage of life. So I'm sending you out, with the recording of this video. This is the tree of contemplation. And if you imagine that you are the tree and there's so many branches to your life, so many different areas, that for you to explore for yourself, like, what are some of the practices that you could incorporate? So you can use this as a template or to use the other cross diagram in seeing where you are in your life and maybe what are some of the things that you might look to add in to your life. Like there are stillness practices, movement, creation, activist, being out there, being active, generative practices, what rituals you have, and relational. So I am also sending you a blank tree so that you can use that first one as a sample and fill in your own. And we will take a look at that next week. So, as Reb Solomon says, we are not wrinkled babies. We are elders. We are here to be wisdom keepers on this planet, not just to become old people. So, there are young people, there are children, there are adolescents, there are young adults, and there is older adults, and there is us, the elders. And nobody can actually make to the end without the wisdom of all the generations. So it's time for us to own the wisdom of who we are in the world today. So each week, I wanted to offer you maybe 2 movies and 2 books. For those of you that after this program, or that you might, one of them might speak to you, that if you want to read some more and to widen your perception and awareness of the third stage of life and becoming an elder. So Falling Upwards by Richard Rohr, great teacher. And the value of this book is the way that he shares his own aging process without sugarcoating it, and the challenges of growing older. But he offers the value and the gift of aging is that we get to see as we get older, that we are being awakened to a deep and simple mystery, that we can see things now in a way that we just couldn't see them when we were younger. And it's to appreciate that more in all the areas of our life. The second half of life and the 8 gates of initiation is by Angeles Arian. And she teaches us that when you find the courage to change at midlife, a miracle happens. That it is an opportunity for our character to be opened, to be deepened, to be strengthened, to be softened, that we can become the elder that we always wanted to. And, I actually find as I get older, I am becoming more of who I always was, only letting go of the stuff that I used to get hung up about. So this book takes you step by step through each gate of initiation. So helping you to deepen important relationships, to reclaim your creative talents, and to shift your focus to finding meaning in life. These are 2 movies. I'd be surprised if many of you have not heard of Tuesdays with Morrie. They're both old movies, but they are classics. And Tuesdays with Morrie is by Mitch Albom, and he has some great books out there. The 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 fifth person, or the person you meet in heaven, just one more day. He writes beautiful novels on mortality and the aging process. And this one deals with all the themes addressed in this course, like the images of aging, becoming an elder, encountering your mortality, life review, forgiveness, healing the past. It's all in Tuesdays with Morrie. So if you want to have a relaxing evening one evening to watch that. The other one is One True Thing. And again, it's a 1999 movie, but it's got an amazing cast with Meryl Streep, William Hurt, Renée Zellweger. And this one is a powerful film on seeing our beliefs about our past, but looking at them with a new perspective. And it's also on the importance of reviewing and healing our relationships with our parents if there is a severance there. So this movie is about facing mortality, clarifying what's our values, forgiveness, and about intergenerational relationships. So next week, I'll offer a few other recommendations. So next week, as I said, it is Easter Monday, but we will be looking at the significant relationships in our life and looking at forgiveness and the importance of it. And I think these 2, if we were going for longer as we move into the journey, we move into the deeper meaning aspects of our life. And I know because this is a re-recording, we've already closed the meeting last night. And I know that each one of you that were present really appreciated the sharing and the listening with each other. And really, that is what we're all looking for, is to be heard, to be seen. And as we get older, that becomes even more important, because so many people moving into the older years, their world becomes smaller. They lose the wide area of contact with people through work and other roles. So to have spaces and relationships where we can show up, where we can speak about the things that are on our heart, the concerns and the good things, and to nurture the significant relationships in our life. It's really important. So with that, I want to wish each one of you a blessing. This week, it is Holy Week. So just I'm escaping, just saying Happy Easter to you all, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday.